Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. If you're passionate about understanding the intricacies of political communication, you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep into a recent press conference held by White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, following the heated debate between President Biden and former President Trump. Before we jump into that analysis, make sure to hit the like button if you find our content helpful. And if you haven't already, click on that subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss out on our expert breakdowns and analysis.
Thank you, Karine. You just reminded us that President Biden had a cold on Thursday. What medications was he taking in the days or hours leading up to the debate?
And I know that question has come in a couple of times to us. He was not taking any cold medication.
Was he taking any medication that would have interfered with his performance?
He was not taking any cold medication. That is what I can speak to. I've asked his doctor, and that's what he stated to us.
If Biden claims he had a cold, it must have come on pretty fast. Sounds like Biden, the media, and his handlers were making excuses for an old man.
Okay, well, you continue to say it was just a bad night, but is there an explanation then for why it was so bad? If it's not his stamina, if he prepared, as you guys say, for so long, if it's not a problem with his mental fitness, what happened that night? What did we see?
I will also add that the president also spoke to this as well. He said, I'm not as smooth as I used to be. I don't debate as well as I used to. I don't walk as easily as I used to.
Boy, isn't that the case? He can barely find his way across a stage. No way should he have another 4 years.
Is anyone in the White House hiding information about the president's health or his ability to do the job day to day?
Absolutely not.
Given the fact that it's more than a bad night when his political future is threatened, would he be willing to provide more medical information? Would he be willing to have Dr. O'Connor provide more to answer these questions?
Look, Kelly-O, certainly understand the question, appreciate the question, but what we have provided has been very transparent.
Transparent. If transparent means you can see right through it, she's right because we can see right through it.
There are many Americans who were concerned about his capacity. Was he okay? What happened? And we've now gone several days where he has only done teleprompter comments.
Okay.
He has not taken questions. I know you've announced a press conference.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. An interview. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
But there is a period of time here where the public is trying to understand what happened.
Yeah.
And the president could help to answer that by engaging with us in an unscripted way right now.
So let me just say a couple of things. There's a couple of things that you said that I do want to address. Number one, less than an hour after the debate, he went and he engaged directly with the American people, right? He went to a watch party. He was in a room with hundreds of supporters who watched the debate. And when he walked in, they cheered him on. And he did a photo line with them for some time. Some of your colleagues had an opportunity to speak to these supporters. He did that. And that was something that he was able to do right after. And then we stopped at a Waffle House, as some of you all know.
Scripted events and a waffle don't make up for America seeing who Biden really is.
I want to go back to that question that Pelosi raised earlier today.
Sure.
Pelosi said it's a legitimate question to ask if this is an episode or this is a condition. Which one is it?
Well, what I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode. I would see this as what it was and what we believe it to be, which is it was a bad night.
His cold seems to have gone away right after the debate. Episode or condition, you decide.
You've said a couple of times now that the White House has provided thorough medical records for the president. The White House released a 6-page summary back in February. I don't think that was a full accounting necessarily. And Dr. O'Connor in that memo described the president as, quote, a healthy, active, robust 81-year-old male who remains fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency. I think that is clearly not what the majority of Americans are seeing. And we have a new poll from CBS News that says 72% of registered voters say the president does not have the mental and cognitive health to serve as president. So are you saying that the majority of Americans are misguided and that they just need to trust Dr. O'Connor and take him at his word?
So a couple of things, and I want to say the president is feeling better, and you saw him last night, you saw him today, but he does indeed still have a cold. Look, I want to be very sensitive here, and I think it is important to be sensitive here. We understand how the American people are feeling. We get it. We do. And I do not want...
72% of voters disagree. Biden is an old man and not up to being president.
And that's basically acknowledging what Americans are seeing and feeling.
Well, if you get it, why not release more about his medical, his physical and mental health? Why not?
What we have released has been very comprehensive. It has been. It has been transparent.
Transparent and comprehensive are two words that both the binder and Biden don't understand. America deserves better.
But the president has a better shot of defeating Donald Trump than any other Democrat. We have a new CNN poll that shows the vice president actually has a slightly stronger showing against Donald Trump than the president. So how does the president explain not passing the baton to his own 59-year-old vice president given that kind of data?
So look, as you know, I'm constrained to speaking directly to your poll.
What are they hiding behind the curtain of politics?
The administration strongly criticized the media for clips showing the president appearing to be confused, freezing at times, and you called it cheap fakes, misinformation, disinformation. In one case, even implied that it was the product of artificial intelligence, calling it deep fakes. Do you have any regret over using that language?
Not at all.
Total denial seems to be how both she and Biden operate. Hear no evil, see no evil.
And then the second question, we just posted a story, which probably I'm not sure you've seen because we just posted it in the middle of the briefing, but in which many people that we've talked to describe an accelerating series of episodes, moments when, over the course of the last several weeks, the president appeared confused or listless or would lose the thread of a conversation in private meetings at the G7, in Normandy, at the White House. Not all the time, not saying that that's the way he is all the time and that there's clearly moments people say that he's forceful and with it and all of that. But these people suggest that that what happened, what Americans saw at the debate has a precursor. What do you say to that?
So I want to be mindful and respect your reporting. I have not read it. I have not seen it, so it's hard for me to respond to it directly. But what I can speak to more broadly is that I have engagement with the president pretty regularly. What I see is a strong, resolute president who's always willing and able to work on behalf of the American people. I do not know who these folks are that you speak of.
She may not know the people, but she can't deny they exist.
50 million plus Americans saw the debate last Thursday. They get a very different story from you. You just described a very different sounding president. Obviously, other administration officials describe him very differently than what people saw. How do you reconcile those two versions of a president, one who appeared the way they did to millions of people and the other who appears always to be, sort of very forceful and not have any of those?
I mean, look, the president spoke to this. You heard me speak to this. We believe, and others have said this, not just me, other folks who have been on networks and also obviously has spoken to all of you, it was a 90-minute debate. It was a bad night. That's what we believe it to be. We're not taking away what people saw. We're just not. That is, want to be very clear about that. We want to also make sure people understand that the president realizes. I keep saying this over and over again. He said he's not as young as he used to be, and he has addressed this over and over and over again. But you saw him last night.
Yes, we did, and the curtain came up on who Biden really is.
When you're looking at the time you spent with him, have you ever seen the president have a bad night like we saw on the debate stage during your time here at the White House?
No.
So were you surprised by what you saw on the debate stage?
I mean, look, I know that he had a cold. Many of you were reaching out to us, to my team and myself directly. You heard the hoarse voice. We were able to confirm he had a cold. He was under the weather, obviously. Look, we all have bad nights, right? Or bad moments. It is not unusual. I just said there have been most incumbents, for their first debate. It doesn't go well.
The first debate may not have gone well for past presidents, but they never fell completely apart like Biden did. She should have her mouth washed out for not telling the truth.
You have repeatedly referred to the president's outing after the debate at the watch party, his remarks the next day in North Carolina, his appearances at fundraisers, his appearances this morning at the DC Emergency Operations Center. All of those appearances were scripted events where he spoke
Not all.
from a most spoke from
I
a
know,
teleprompter.
but you said all, but not all.
Okay, well, if you're correcting me, they're most. They're scripted, spoken from a teleprompter. How are Americans supposed to get the sense that the president is fully engaged and capable and thinking off the cuff when he's reading from prepared remarks so often? And why can't he just come down here? The briefing room's 30 seconds away. Why can't he come down here and assure us and the American people that he's okay?
When someone else is pulling the strings on a puppet, we can see it. The country doesn't want to elect a teleprompter.
And I don't know if you missed this, but I also shared that he has done more than 40 interviews this year alone, and we're going to continue that.
This lie is beyond belief. It almost makes you laugh. Almost all of these interviews or remarks were on teleprompters. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the post-debate press conference. If you found our analysis insightful, please give us a like to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth breakdowns, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you on the next video.